Hello everyone, welcome back to Turkish series stars. All the buzz is in today's report, and you'll want to hear every second of it. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, and show some love with a like, because what happened this morning changed the entire conversation around one of the most watched couples of the year. It all unfolded at sunrise, at the international terminal that's usually calm enough to hear suitcase wheels hum on the floor. In an instant, the quiet shattered. Camera shutters started firing like rain on glass, voices rose into a rush, and a wave of reporters surged forward. Right at the center of it stood Cemre Arda, arriving quietly for yet another overseas trip, the kind she usually slips into without a fuss. But today, the questions caught her before she could disappear behind tinted doors. For months, social media has been boiling with theories about Cemre and Gökberk Yıldırım. Whispers turned into claims, and claims into daring headlines, a serious relationship, families meeting, and yes, even a secret wedding. Through all of it, Cemre stayed quiet. No denial, no confirmation, no subtle hint beyond a glance or two caught from afar. The silence fed the fire. Fans measured her every post, every ring on every finger, every caption that sounded the tiniest bit sentimental. And yet, nothing was ever truly said. Until this morning. She stepped onto the polished floor of the terminal in a simple coat, hair tucked back, expression composed. You could see she was prepared for the flight, but maybe not for what was about to happen. A reporter's voice rose above the crowd, clear and direct, the questions so many people had wanted to shout for weeks. Cemre Hanım, is it true you married Gökberk Yıldırım? Everyone expected her to glide past, eyes forward, lips pressed into that polite smile she's perfected for years. But she didn't. Cemre stopped. She looked up. She took a breath deep enough to steady a small storm. And then she smiled in a way that seemed almost unguarded. I've kept quiet for months, she said, her voice even warm, as if speaking to a friend. People wrote their own stories. I'll tell you this much, nothing in my life happens without me knowing. It wasn't a yes. It wasn't a no. It was a line that invited 1,000 interpretations, a sentence crafted with the kind of restraint only someone who knows exactly what she's doing can deliver. The corridor filled with electricity. Reporters immediately surged again, voices overlapping, each trying to claim the follow-up. Is your relationship with Gökberk going well? Are the families involved? Will he be traveling with you? Are you going to announce something soon? Cemre held her ground, her smile never hardening, never turning brittle. I know everyone is curious, she said, and who could blame them? Sometimes the best thing you can do is let life run the way it's meant to. Right now, my heart is in a good place. The rest, you'll see soon. That was all it took. The questions kept flying, but Cemre didn't add another word. She drifted toward security, lifted her hand in a small thank you to the crew managing the crowd, and disappeared through the checkpoint. A few seconds later, phones were already buzzing across the city. Within minutes, clips of her voice, her smile, even the way she paused before speaking were posted, reposted, chopped into shorter edits, captioned, and thrown into the current. The internet did the rest. The trends lit up with keywords that sounded like sirens. Cemre speaks. Marriage rumors. Airport shock. Fans picked apart every detail like detectives on a case that mattered too much to leave to chance. Some insisted her eyes gave everything away. Others focused on the ring she did or didn't wear. People said she looked genuinely happy, freer than she has in months. Others swore that the softness in her voice was proof she was hiding something big, and that she liked hiding it. The debate raged in comment sections, in group chats, in voice notes from one friend to another. And then, like a wave catching a wave, a clip of Gökberk from a few days ago resurfaced. In a brief hallway interview, he'd been asked about his private life. He'd smiled the quiet smile he's known for and said, I don't want to discuss my personal life, but I'm happy. Back then, it was a sentence that slid by. Today, paired with Cemre's words, it felt like a clue carefully placed in plain sight. Speculation swelled. Some fans argued that neither of them is hiding anymore. They're simply choosing to move at their own speed, to let moments unfold naturally. Others read more into the timing of Cemre's travel. They suggested the trip wasn't just business, that it might be tethered to something more personal. One rumor caught wind fast, that Gökberk was headed to the same destination, taking a separate flight to avoid being photographed alongside her at the terminal. As if to fan the flames, a source said to be close to Cemre offered a tidbit to the press. "She doesn't want to hide," the source said. "She's extremely happy, but she'll share it on her terms." The words weren't an official statement, but that didn't matter. They fit too neatly with what fans already believed, and the cycle spun faster. By midday, what began as an airport moment had become the week's most urgent topic. Is there a secret wedding no one wants to say out loud yet? Are they gearing up for a major announcement? Or are they simply trying to protect something fragile and real from the noise outside? The truth remained elusive. But one thing was impossible to ignore. Today, Cemre Arda's brief comments took over every timeline, every trending list, every conversation in cafes and on set, where colleagues whispered between takes. People rewinded her words. They analyzed her posture, the unhurried tilt of her head, the split second where she glanced left as if searching for a decision hidden in the air. It became a collage of evidence. Some fans stitched together old interviews where Cemre talked about patience and timing. Others re-watched the moment from months ago when Gökberk was asked about commitment and answered that real things don't need big speeches to be true. Suddenly, those old pieces felt connected, as if someone had scattered breadcrumbs across a map we only now remember to follow. At the terminal cafe, strangers compared timelines on screens. "Did you notice how she said my heart is in a good place?" One person asked another, as if decoding a line from a favorite series. "Yes, but she also said life should flow," came the reply. That sounds like someone who doesn't feel obligated to justify anything, not like someone hiding because they're afraid. The debate grew more layered, more personal, as if everyone reading had a stake in what the couple would decide to reveal. Messages rolled in from fans who've followed Cemre's career from her earliest roles. They wrote about wanting her to be happy, about respecting her privacy, then confessed they couldn't stop refreshing for updates. That's the truth of it, isn't it? We want to give space and we want to know everything. We love the story and fear the ending, all at once. Meanwhile, across town, someone claimed they'd seen a familiar silhouette walking through a different terminal late last night, a cap pulled low, a jacket collar turned up. Was that Gökberk? The details were vague. The photo was a blur. But people didn't need a perfect image to believe a perfect story, especially when the story fit so well with what they hoped was real. Theories turned to timelines, timelines to hypothetical plans. Maybe Cemre's flight is for work, but with a day or two carved out for something personal. Maybe families have already met quietly and liked what they found. Maybe rings are less important than knowing when you're sure. Or maybe nothing has been planned and they're letting this entire thing breathe, trusting that the right day will arrive without a press release guiding it there. Even those who were skeptical found themselves swayed by the softness in the day's footage. Cemre did not act like someone under siege. She acted like someone who understood the chaos and decided she wouldn't let it define her. She didn't challenge the narrative head-on, she adjusted it, like moving a picture frame into balance. If you've followed her long enough, you know that's her style. She doesn't raise her voice. She just chooses her moment, and then the moment becomes hers. And then there's Gökberk. His silence never feels careless. It feels like a man who knows the difference between attention and meaning. When he does speak, his sentences are tidy, unflustered, almost shy of too much detail. That hallway quote, "No personal life talk, but happy," reads differently now. It reads like someone who isn't putting up walls, only asking that the door be knocked on gently. By afternoon, journalists debated whether a reveal was inevitable. A studio insider whispered that a joint appearance could be near. A stylist posted a cryptic caption about fitting a look for a special night. Another friend of a friend claimed that a location overseas had been booked for a shoot that might just double as something more. None of it was solid. All of it was irresistible. Through it all, the fact remains, no one said yes, no one said no. The intrigue is alive because both of them are speaking in a language of feeling rather than facts, and it's a language their audience understands, maybe more than they realize. Love stories aren't press briefings. Love stories are glances, pauses, small laughs in a crowded space, a hand raised in thanks before stepping beyond the glass. As the day winds down, those airport images play on a loop. The coat, the measured steps, the way the light caught in Cemre's hair as she turned toward the question she had to know was coming. When she said nothing happens without me knowing, people felt the ground tilt. It's not a denial. It's not a confession. It's a promise, the kind that says she's in control of her story. If something happened, she chose it. If something hasn't happened yet, she'll choose when it does. And if you're wondering where that leaves the rest of us, it leaves us here, watching, happily suspended between what we think we know and what we're waiting to hear. Maybe that's why this moment matters so much. It reminds us that the best stories unfold at their own pace, and that the most beautiful answers sometimes arrive quietly, without fanfare, exactly when they're meant to. So is there a secret wedding? Are they preparing a big announcement? Or are they simply protecting something tender with the care it deserves? Tonight, the truth remains in the space between their words. But one thing is beyond dispute. Today, Cemre Arda moved the entire conversation with just a few sentences, and the world leaned in closer to hear the next ones. Thank you for watching and staying with us through this whirlwind. Make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars and tap that bell so you don't miss what comes next. Because when the next chapter lands, whether in an airport corridor, on a red carpet abroad, or in a whispered caption at midnight, we'll be right here to break it down, with every detail you're craving. Until then, let life flow, keep your heart in a good place, and trust that the rest will arrive right on time.